Okay, we'll go ahead and start this a little bit early, 5 minutes early, but who cares? I named this episode of this podcast A Brief History of Time. Why did I name it A Brief History of Time? Well, the first episode that I did was with a friend of mine, and we didn't really even plan on making that episode. It wasn't in the books. But after several hours of him convincing me to do it, around midnight, he started just grabbing stuff and setting it up, and we just kind of pulled the trigger. There was really no plan to that episode. I was super nervous. I'm more nervous now than I was then, because right now I'm just talking to myself. I've never just sat here and talked out loud to nobody. I guess I could talk to my dogs. That's something I do pretty often, so. No, but I named it A Brief History of Time to kind of show where I'm at, why I decided to do this, what's the plan, what was the plan, how we got here. I feel like it's pretty important. Number one, I started this to speak my truth, right? To get on a soapbox. I got some shit I want to say. And it wasn't even gonna be me sitting here at a desk talking into a mic by myself. It was gonna be me and a homie. Some things fell through with that, and here we are. I decided we're just gonna do this. It's just like the universe comes together, kind of points you in a certain direction, and the best laid plans of mice and men don't always work out, so roll with the punches. I don't remember which general said it, but no battle plan survives contact with the enemy. And like I said last episode, we are fighting the enemy. It's gonna pull out all the stops. It's gonna make things difficult. But we're pretty deep, money-wise, into this whole fucking show. So, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna, put it all away and hope for a different time? No, we'll just solo mission this. That's what life's been about so far. You try to sign up with a homie or someone else, family, friends, whatever, girl. And shit, come in alone, you leave alone. So we're just gonna do the podcast alone. I named it Ethereal Echo. The other podcast was going to be named Tomorrow's Echo, which I really liked. But I already had this channel. My gamer tag is Ethereus. So I thought Ethereal Echo, easy transition. Don't overthink it. So we got here. I guess it all started when I was a child. I don't know. I remember recording myself for the very first time. My brother, sister, somebody in my family got like a camera. I think it was my brother got a camera. And I was like 8. I took a little video. This is what is that? I was born in 89, so 8 or 9. I don't remember which house. We were living in Arlington, Texas. And I don't know, there was a camera. I recorded myself. It was just so cringy. Super cringy. I remember being like, holy shit, that was cringy. And ever since that moment on, I don't think I've ever made a video of myself. I wrote a diary or a journal when I was like a teenager. Then my stepfather, Jeff, was like, have you ever read them back? Like, you ever gone back and read them? I was like, no, I haven't. He was like, well, you probably should, because I did it once, and it was just the most cringy thing ever. So I went back and read it, and I had a flashback to when I was like 8 with the video camera. So I just never took a journal. either. I've never put my thoughts down in stone or have it recorded. I always felt like my calling was, in the streets, talking to people, go out there, mingle, communicate. Things have changed, and there's been a convergence where everything in my life is kind of lined up to this point. There is no plan to make money. There's no plan to be famous. I was thinking about it, I don't know, throughout my life, but more so in my 30s. Obviously, I'm 34. So in the last couple of years, there's been several instances in my life where, you probably shouldn't have made it out, like, and then, you wake up the next morning and you're like, holy shit, I'm alive. That's crazy. When people die, right, they have a legacy. They have their works, they have their offspring, write books, whatever. You have things you've done. I've realized in my life, really don't have any of that. Don't have, if I died tomorrow, or if I would have died last year or 2 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever, I would just vanished. I would have disappeared into the ether. We can't let that happen. What? So that's one of the reasons why I decided to speak my truth, is right. We're all mortal. Now that I'm older and I'm not 20 anymore, I'm very aware of my mortality nowadays. I lost a tooth. Losing that fucking tooth, right? I don't know. It sparked the thought process. Fucking falling apart. We're not indestructible. It was like the first tooth I lost. But yeah, so I wanted to start this podcast with a homie because I thought it would be easier if I had someone I'm riffing off of. But like I said, you got distracted by something else, so we're just gonna pull the trigger. I want to do this. I would like to do it every day. The goal would be to be okay. So I can't watch the news right anymore. I can't watch Fox. Really can't even watch Alex Jones. Really, I already know. What am I gonna do? Keep banging my head against the wall and just keep watching? So I try to watch things that don't have to do with the control grid that has been set up around us and all the brainwashing and propaganda. I already know what's happening. I don't need someone to break it down to me. This isn't really even me trying to break it down to anybody. I just got, some shit I want to say, and I'd like to do this every day. That would be ideal. Maybe workout vids. I don't know. Like I said, back in the day, I never started one of these vlogs, whatever, podcast. I live in the pirate's life. You don't need that spotlight. I'm basically Mormon now. Nothing. We don't do nothing. We're all green. So there's no got to keep your head low. You don't want to get your head cut off. There's nothing. What are you gonna do? There's nothing. And then I have a couple homies. The last homie couldn't wear. He wanted to wear this mask. Because people, the system that is in place, if you speak anything against their agenda or they don't agree with, they will attack you. They will, try and destroy everything that you've built. And a lot of people are afraid of that. I was talking with a coworker last night about that. And yeah, most people just, they don't, and I understand it. I used to grow weed. I used to live that life. And I was afraid of the repercussions of putting a spotlight on myself. But I'm in a place right now where I own everything. Like I said, I play by their fucking rules. We're in a good place where we're pretty autopilot right now. I took, for the longest time, I didn't know about Andrew Tate, right? So I signed up for his little real world, because I don't know how to make money in the real world. I mean, you give me a couple pounds of weed, you give me some drugs, whatever, I'll make some money off that. But I had a friend tell me once that you can't retire on that. I guess you can, but the odds of, you know, making it to the finish line, not going to jail or dying or getting lost in that whole show, you know, like there was a point where you could like sell your soul, right? You could keep quiet, do as you're told, be a yes man, and you could get ahead in life. There are certain people, and I like the analogy that Andrew Tate has been using with, you know, the Matrix and the real world, and that's obviously, I remember seeing the Matrix the very first time and being like, holy shit, this is crazy. And so I'm taking those classes, and the classes I'm taking are they have a content creation and AI course. AI obviously is about to fucking pop off, so if you don't spend your time, you know, messing with AI, learning prompt engineering, getting familiar with everything that is AI and the potential that is behind it, you will be left behind. So, in content creation, you know, you gotta, shit, I don't know, you gotta brand yourself. Like, that's if you don't want to be a slave and you don't want to do what other people tell you to do, I mean, shit, put yourself out there, see what happens. So I'm taking the content creation AI courses, super dope. And, you know, e-commerce, you know, because obviously if you're going to make money nowadays, it's much better to do it online, you know, sell to the world instead of just, you know, to the 10,000 people in your local community that might come by. So, you know, just learning skills and shit like that. So we're taking these classes, like I said, and, I'm attempting to find ways to make, you know, legit money, millions and millions and millions and millions. I want to go travel the world, do that whole thing. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Spain, all of the Mediterranean, see the pyramids. You know, you want to travel, you want to do the thing. And to be able to do that, e-commerce is the way to do it. And content creation plus learning AI. So this forces it forces your hand when you jump in. Right now I'm streaming it, I'm full sent. It's going to be on Twitch at first, and then I'll upload it to YouTube's, and then, you know, once we get a couple episodes and once this gets streamlined, once I get mics all set up and intros, and, you know, there's big things, but you got to throw yourself in the fire. So that's what we're kind of doing. I've no idea. There's no outline. There's no plan. Kind of just going with it. But when it comes to, you know, how it all started, why I'm doing this, there are certain things in my life that have lined up, you know, like my homie calls it like forever memories, where there are certain things in your life that kind of like, you know, I'm 34 and I'll remember one thing that happened in 1 year when I was 11 years old. You know what I mean? And I won't remember anything else. But couldn't tell you anything else about that fucking year. But that one thing, you know, sticks with you. And there was a point when, you know, another reason why I was nervous or hesitant about setting up, you know, my soapbox. I'm no stranger to, you know, people's judgment or people's whatever, you know, how they interpret who you are. And I'm, you know, very hit or miss. You either enjoy my company or you completely despise it. Very hit or miss. And over time, you know, I don't play games. You know what I mean? Like if you show me your cards, and they're not on point, I'm I'm gonna go elsewhere. Time's too important. You know, I'd rather hang out with my dogs, all that good stuff. But there was a point in my time in high school. I went to a lot of different high schools, but this one I went to was in Keller, Texas. What, Fossil Ridge or something? Yeah, something like that. Something in Keller. It's been there for a while. It's next to like a Sonic, or it used to be next to a Sonic. I used to work at that Sonic. Anyways, MySpace is a thing, right? So I'm like 15, and MySpace is a thing. And I'm going through a crazy point in my life, like all kinds of crazy shit. I'm sure at some point we'll touch on, you know, all that, but MySpace was a thing. And, you know, I didn't really have any homies or friends growing up because I just went to so many different schools and it was really hard to connect. Always had, you know, acquaintances and, you know, there was no beef and, you know, I had no problem talking with people, but there was just no genuine, like, friendship. Everyone had their cliques and bonds and, you know, it was very loner-esque. Let's see. So I go on MySpace one day and I have a little rant about, you know, the different cliques. Like, you know, like, you know, goth girls or, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The wannabe gangster kids, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So the jocks, so on and so forth. You know, like I didn't have any homies on MySpace. This is what blows my mind. I probably had like 3 people on my MySpace. And I wake up the next morning and go to school. And I get to school and everyone's looking at me all crazy. Everyone's got this fucking I want to kill you vibe. And I'm like, all right, what's happening here? And I walk in to the double doors and there's like, you know, to get into the school, you walk past all the cliques and whatever. And there was a lot of heat coming at me. And I was like, what is this heat for? And I get through the double doors and there's like a line of teachers, like 7, all in like a line to catch me coming through. So I go through and they're like, Sir Ryan, you know, they're like, you have to come with us to the principal's office. And at this point, everybody, you know, this is a big school. There's thousands of kids in this fucking auditorium entrance thing. And it's dead quiet. Everyone's got pieces of paper in their hand. And teachers are like, you got to come with us. And I was like, okay. So I go to the principal's office. And they're like, he's like, hey, so did you say some stuff last night on MySpace? And I was like, I might have. Why? And he pulls out this piece of paper, and it's my post of my opinion of, you know, people and ideas and cliques and whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, this was being handed out on the school bus and we got a copy and we knew what was happening. And before, you know, we're a part of all the different groups on MySpace. Like, y'all think that, you know, we might not know what's happening, but we are in there. And I was like, what do you mean you're in there? It's like, we have fake accounts so we can watch what's happening. I was like, oh shit. He was like, yeah, and they were saying how they're gonna jump you and da 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 da. I was like, bet. Like, okay. No, for your safety, you know, we're gonna have to transfer schools. Like, you can't be here anymore. But until that happens, you know, we understand it's gonna take some time, so we're just gonna put you in OCS, on campus suspension or whatever. You're just gonna hang out with these kids and you know, live that life until we can figure out what school you're going to transfer to and da 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 da. So I go to I'm like, this is crazy. He's like, yeah, but for today, so this settles down, we have a police escort. We're going to take you back home. And I was like, bro, like, I don't care about none of it. Just let me go to my class. Like, I don't need none of this. I don't need the fucking police escort. I don't need I don't need nothing. And he's like, no, man, like, I know that you think, da, 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 but they have gang ties. And I was like, bro, I go here. This is Keller. Like, this ain't Oak Cliff. You know, we're not in downtown Dallas. We're not. This is the suburbs, bro. Oh, you know, but, you know, for your safety, you know, da, da, da. Okay. So I go home. Drive me home. Meow. Come back to school the next day, go to OCS. I haven't figured out what was going to happen. And in OCS, obviously, all the bad kids are in OCS, right? All the people who think they're somebody and feel like they want to throw hands or whatever are in OCS. So, you know, all the cliques, you know, they want that smoke. So the reason why I bring that up is I spoke my truth. And there was this crazy retaliation that like flipped my life completely upside down. Right? Like, I don't think, like, after I left that school, like, I don't think I went back to school. Like, that was it. Like, I think I went to like Martin in Arlington for like 3 months. It was like, that was the beginning of like the downward spiral of like my school career. So there was a reservation, you know, in the back of the head of, you know, last time you spoke your truth, pal. The world's coming at you, bruh. Something about the shit that you say where if someone else said it, it didn't matter. Like, I wasn't saying nothing that, like, you know, preppy girls are kind of bitches. These wannabe gangster kids, like, you know, that... The smelly, you know, loner, the kids who don't wear deodorant and don't shower, you know, it's like, dude, what are you fucking doing in your life? Like, how hard, you know, little shit like that where everybody would agree with what I said. But because I said it, it turned into a whole fucking thing. And that's been a trend in my life a lot, and for a long time, you just don't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with that nonsense. I mean, it's fine, it's fun, you know, like I laughed about it then and I laugh about it now, but it was like, you know, traumatic. It was fucking hard. It was hard to figure out how to figure that out. So that was another reservation of mine. But in my 20s, you know, we were just wilding out, living life, experiencing things. I hit 30, you know, I was a little overweight. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol and pussy and, you know, distracted by the material shiny objects that get thrown in front of us. But in my 30s, I've mellowed out a whole bunch thanks to homies and family and friends and conversations and experience and discipline. You know, working out every day. Yeah. A lot of the things that I would have said, like I said last episode, was I couldn't do the podcast or have a social media presence, be a hypocrite. I couldn't, like, I'll see Andrew Tate videos, or I'll see, you know, shit. I remember Tucker Carlson supporting the war in Iraq. Like, I remember, you know, a lot of these dudes, you know, say one thing and then 20 years later, 10 years later, say another thing. And it's like, cool, I see that people grow, I get it, but like, I bet it sucks to be Andrew Tate and to want to be believing in God and, you know, be a good person. And he's, you know, going through his spiritual journey and trying to find purpose and meaning beyond the material. Because he's very good at the material, but when you talk about the ethereal, you know, he's trying to find his path, and that's awesome. I'm about it. But imagine having to fight that dragon yourself, saying some shit you disagree with years later. And it's not that I would have gone on here and said something I disagreed with. I've just been a fucking hypocrite because, like, no, you shouldn't do drugs. You shouldn't finance or an alcohol. No, you shouldn't. Yes, you should work out and so on and so forth. Like, there's certain things we know we should do. And sometimes, you know, we get distracted and apathetic and whatever about it. But we're in a good place in life. And we're super deep in the money situation on this. So you might as well fucking do it. I'd like to do it, like I said, once a day, every day, at least an hour. Mondays I've decided is going to be with one of my homies. Now, doing it with a homie is very interesting because not every homie has the same vision of what I'm trying to do on this, right? So, like, there's a certain vibe, you know, that's why we got the music in the background and we got very chill. We're going for very chill. And some of them aren't that chill, right? Some people still fucking wilding out. Some people still dealing with their fucking demons. And, you know, that would be good content to be the old grizzled buck, you know, throwing out experience points to help the homies. A little power level here or there. And, you know, catch it. And just, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not really sure how it's all going to play out. But, you know, the first step is just jumping in. And, you know, what would I even talk about, you know, and I really don't have a plan. Really no plan. I just think that over time, it's going to bloom and blossom into something, you know, that I'll be proud of. You know, when I first started growing weed, Jesus Christ, terrible experience. I'll tell you about the weed growing game. Jesus Christ. But luckily I had a homie. I shouldn't, fuck. He's one of those, I probably should just throw his name, but I had a homie at one point in time who, you know, like, was planted. Things have happened in my life where it's like when I needed my electricity redone and I didn't have $2,000 or whatever to throw at the problem, you know, randomly somebody will knock on my door. No shit, bro. Somebody will knock on my door and it will be somebody who can fix my electricity. A homie I haven't seen in years and years and years and years. Just randomly show up and it's like, I'm here to fix your... Well, that's not how it worked. It's not, I'm here to fix your electricity. No, it was, holy shit, dude, you know, what's up? Come on in. Let's bro down. Hey, by the way, while you're here, think you can look at this for me? Oh, yeah, man, no problem. You know, throw me a couple $100. I'll get that handled for you. So little things like that have always happened in my life. And I think it's like the universe speaking to us, right? So I think the universe, it doesn't speak in word. It speaks in movement of the universe itself, the grand symphony of the universe. And if you're in tune with that symphony, you know, you just got to go with it. I feel like the tune has all led to me getting in front of this fucking camera, this mic, and yeah, we're just gonna see how it goes. So it's been a journey to get this far, and why I want to do it, I hope I explained it pretty well. Why now? I hope I explained that pretty well. And you know what the future of it might be. We're just gonna grow together. The only people who have seen it so far, I sent the link to the family and friends and that whole shebang. And they were encouraging, you know, and that's nice. So a couple feedback here and there. So we'll see how it goes with the help of the people who come in You know, there are suggestions, tips. You know, obviously I'm brand fucking new. I have no idea. I'm basically like the newbie. Just popped into World of Warcraft. I'm level 1 paladin. Level sword. But I'm gonna go slay Murlocs until level 10. And don't worry about me. I'm gonna figure it out. So yeah, that's Ethereal Echo, the podcast, and why and how and where and what. I don't see it becoming, you know, the Fresh and Fit podcast or, you know, anything like that. The competition's hot nowadays. Everyone's a comedian. You got ex-Navy SEALs out here. You got bodybuilding gods. You got, you know, the pretty e-girls. I'm just some fucking guy. Just some fucking guy sitting on a soapbox. Maybe we'll mingle. We'll you know, we'll try and get on, you know, we'll try and get on some famous people's shit, get the name out there. But that's years in the future. And, you know, the reason why I wanted to do it now is because I'm in a good place, right? So there was a point in time, let's say I did make it to the big leagues and me and Zerka are doing lines off, you know, strippers' titties. That would have been me in my 20s. Luckily now we're in a place where it's like I have no interest in any of that. I've been going down a Gnostic rabbit hole the last couple weeks. Actually, the last couple months, I've been very spiritual again. Very spiritual again. This is orange juice. Been very spiritual again. So when it comes to purpose and meaning and, you know, why, you know, we do what we do and what we're willing to live for and what we're willing to die for, you know, don't get it twisted. You know, they still will Clinton you. They still will suicide you. They'll destroy your character. They'll take everything from you and they'll murder you. But I read the Gospel of Thomas. Check that shit out. Wild. Gospel of Judas. I've been taking the Lost Gospel journey the last couple weeks, month-ish. And, you know, I always had a reservation about Christianity. Ooh, going to the Christianity topic. It ties in. I promise. It will tie in. The Christianity topic has always been, you know, I've always felt a certain connection for it. You know, whether or not that's my Western upbringing or, you know, that is something that speaks to my heart, you know. But I was, you know, I went to an Episcopalian private school for a couple years. I want to say like 6th, 7th, a little bit 8th grade. And I just, you know, I just never could get into it. There was something about it, you know, like I don't, like, yeah, Jesus is cool. I agree with what he says. It's all good stuff. But I don't worship the man. Like, yeah, but he's the incarnation of God on earth. And it's like, cool. I still don't worship the man. I'll worship old dude, but I won't worship the man. In the Lost Gospels, it's, you know, from my interpretation and my peasant understanding of things, it's more of an inward journey of being true to your true self, your soul. You know, like it's not the outward worship of the man or even the outward worship of the God. It's the inward, it's turning inwards. And for the longest time, I always thought that if I was, you know, in my youth, I would have said that I was Luciferian. You know, at first I was an atheist, right? We're all dumb and corrupted and think we know better than the world. And, you know, I have it all figured out. So when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was like an atheist. But then I did drugs, a lot of drugs, too many drugs, a lot of ecstasy at a Pink Floyd concert. Roger Waters did Dark Side of the Moon in like 2008, 2009. I don't remember, something around there. And I did like 4 tabs of like triple stack Pink Ladies. Fucking gone. I don't know, I had a conversation with the divine that night, and I got caught in, you know, obviously you experience that. So I did a lot more ecstasy, a lot more drugs, you know, seeking that spiritual fulfillment again. And I thought I found it, right? But when you use drugs to do that, it can lead down some dark paths. You're not probably communicating with the divine anymore. You could be communicating with some other little spooky being out there pretending to be something he's not. So you could be led down a path, and I was led from, you know, atheist, and I went to Luciferian. You know, the New Age movement. You know, this was all very new. This was holy shit. This is crazy. You know, lizard people. I mean, 2010, 2009, 2011, 2007, 2008. YouTube was a wild place back then. Wild place back then. This is before they purged it, right? They were learning how to purge it. Everything was, you know, everything was fluid. Things are hot, you know, things are locked in now, but back then it was a fucking free-for-all. So you get distracted by the little things. So I went from atheist to Luciferian, and then I saw the darkness, right? I saw what it was doing to my life. And I had some inward self-discoveries, so on and so forth. And I don't remember at what point it happened, but I realized, I think it's after I moved to Colorado. I think it was once I moved to Colorado. Because Texas was bad for me. Texas was a bad experience for me. I was a victim of circumstance instead of a master of reality in Texas. But when it came to Colorado, you know, I cheated, and I was, you know, I was scammed people, you know, like I was living a certain style of life. And I came to Colorado, and something flipped where it was like, okay, I still respect the Luciferian philosophy, Hermeticism, you know, ancient knowledge, and, you know, I just didn't know how to sort through it, right? I didn't know how to maneuver through it all. And I decided that I was gonna, like, okay, I don't know what I believe, right? So I found William Cooper, and, you know, I took the William Cooper, I listened to all his radio shows from the 90s up until, you know, his first one. You can go to Hour of the Time, thehourofThetime.com, and you can listen to all William Cooper's top to bottom from like 89 to like 2001 when they murder him. I took that journey, and, you know, his interpretation of the enemy's battle plan, and, you know, a consolidated true belief system, and was unwavering. It was very refreshing. So I took the journey. Through that journey, I never would have said that I was a Christian, because I don't believe, you know, I don't like the Catholic Church, bro. The Catholic Church is one of the enemies, one of the fucking heads of the Hydra. How are you gonna trust a book that they fucking created, shaped, molded? Like, yeah, it's cool that, like, we can read it, and the Protestant Reformation, and, like, all that stuff's good, and I can appreciate all that stuff. But when it just felt like the God from the Old Testament, the Jewish God, and the Christian God didn't make sense. And it's, oh, Jesus came back, and that's, he died on the cross, and that's the difference. And but how are you going to trust a Catholic system that really just converted their pagan gods to the saints? Like, anyways, it's just, I saw the bullshit. I saw thousands. I mean, you think you're living in some crazy times with propaganda and nonsense and COINTELPRO. Jesuits have been at it forever. Forever. Ooh, name drop. Jesuits. Ooh, so scary. So scary. They've been at it forever. So I respect the teachings in the Bible. It would move my heart, the story, and, I think our ancestors have a lot to teach us, and we sometimes forget what they're trying to tell us, because we don't live 2,000 years ago. It's hard for us to connect to something that far, but we know in our heart of hearts that something's being said in this book that's very important. And so for a long time I went through just, I don't really. So William Cooper had a quote. It was, read everything, listen to everyone, believe nothing unless you can prove it with your own research. So I got to a point where it was like, cool, I'm just going to absorb everything possible and take it all in, and I'll siphon through as needed. And that led me closer to the idea of a Christian God, a singular God, different than the Jewish God. The Jewish God and the Christian God are not the same God. It's not the same dude. Like, that's a deep topic. Yeah. Especially with all the Jewish shit happening. And I do want to hit the Israel thing at some point, but I want to finish this. They got to the point where there was a convergence, where everything was lining up, and I was having conversations with people, and I was reading things, and everything streamlined. The last couple months, I have gotten pretty firm on what I believe. No longer is it like, I'm gonna look at everything, I'm gonna take in everything. I mean, I'm still doing that, I haven't lost that skill, but at the same time, I'm guided by divine purpose, and I have found my divine purpose in this world, and why I'm here, what I'm meant to do, what I'm doing it for. And there's something bigger than myself. So I was having a conversation with one of my homies way back in the day, and he kind of, I've known him for a lot of years, and he knows my philosophy. And I see, if I had to consider myself something, I would consider myself a gray Jedi, right? I see the beauty on both. I try to operate in the neutral. Or that's how I would have saw it a little while ago. Lately, the last, 6 months, give or take, I have fallen over into that Jedi category, or whatever analogy you want to put on it, into the light a little bit more, because the darkness is just so, dude, it's just, the darkness is all encompassing if you let it in. And I took a journey because, I had a little voice in my head, a forever memory, right? Having this conversation with my dude, I was like, yeah, man, if I had to, consider myself, if I had to label myself something, it'd be like a Luciferian Christian. And I had a whole philosophy of why that made sense, and so on and so forth. And he was like, man, to be honest, if I had to give your belief system a title, it would be closer to Gnosticism. And, you know, in my youth, I always heard about Gnosticism. Never took the journey. That was like the one, never took that journey for some reason. It's very esoteric. It's very, there just wasn't a lot of information on it. There wasn't, or maybe it wasn't the time for me to learn about it. Who knows? But Gnosticism, dude, I've taken a deep dive in the last month into this little rabbit hole. And if I had to say, the more I learn about it, you know, I read the lost teachings of Mary Magdalene. Read the lost, you know, the good news, the gospel of Thomas. And you're like, holy shit. Like, no wonder y'all left this out. And imagine all the other ones that we don't get to read. Imagine how many of the Catholic Church has hidden in their fucking archives. Crazy. So, we're at a point where we're in a very good space, you know, spiritually, mentally. You know, I'm not corrupted by the systems of this world anymore. I've fully accepted, you know, my mortality. Fully accepted all the evils of the world. And, you know, I've chosen a side against it. Thanks to the help of, you know, ancient texts and people, you know, who like Graham Hancock and people, you know, like having a knowledge is power, having an understanding of reality that truly makes sense to you is so freeing. You know, for the longest time, you're trying to maneuver and wiggle and figure it out. And especially if you didn't have a father to kind of show you that, or if you had a father or a system or a group of people who showed you something that turned out to be not your truth, you know, it takes some time to wiggle through all that nonsense. And it's so easy to get distracted by, you know, pussy, drugs, attention, fame. And I just wasn't there personally at the moment, but, you know, here we are. I think we are here now, and it's super intimidating, you know, because I fully pulled the trigger on this. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing. And I'll probably have like points, and I won't just wing it every time. But when he set it up, and I wasn't even going to upload the first one. Wasn't even going to record the first one. Wasn't even going to upload it. But, you know, my dude, you know, so if something happens, you know, I become a well-respected figure in the Patriot community, that would be because of my boy. And that's pretty neat. But, you know, I would have probably procrastinated this another month, 2 months, 6 months. Fuck it, right? The universe kind of, you have to go with the flow, right? Go with the flow. It's a deep saying that it shows that there's a purpose to the flow. And if you go with it, you'll be in tune with that purpose. And I'm pretty chill point in life where I can spend an hour, 2 hours every day doing this. You know, there used to be a point, I don't know, the last 2 years where I was like working 12 hours, 14 hours, 16-hour days every day to get everything that I've always wanted. I mean, try not to be a slave to the material items, but you also want to live comfortably. You don't want to have a leaking roof. You don't want to have plumbing issues. You don't want to have, you know, you want to be able to eat. And like I said, when I came out of the pirate life and I decided to like, I had a conversation with a homie and he was like, Ryan, you gonna retire? How are you gonna retire on that? Actually, the conversation was how are you gonna retire on pussy? Because I'd take jobs that like would get me pussy. Like I didn't really care about the money. I just wanted. He's like, Ryan, your currency's pussy. I was like, yeah, I guess. But that made me think about what's important and, you know, what do I want? Do I want to be just the guy that fucks random whores and does drugs? And no, you know, I want the family. We want the white picket fence, right? So we worked real hard. I worked real hard the last 2 years in the slave pits, upper management, retail, you know, district manager. I think I capped out was like salary wise, like actual salary. I think it was like 65. But then I found a gig where it was unlimited overtime. And if someone tells me unlimited overtime, I got nothing but time. Unlimited overtime? What? So I was doing 90-hour weeks for like 10 months and I cleared like 100K. I was able to buy everything I wanted and it just wasn't enough. You know, it's not enough to start a family. That's not enough. And once you taste that side of the rainbow, of the 100K rainbow, it's like, I'm not going back to 50. I'm not going to be a slave doing the same shit for 60. It's like, it's not happening. I'm not going to go back to the drug game, and that's not happening. So e-commerce was the play. Content creation is the play. Learning about AI is the play. Branding myself is the play. Putting myself out there, speaking my truth. All that's the play. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I have no plan on how this is going to go. But, you know, like I said, most plans, no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy. Just fucking go. Get your rifle. Get your boys. Hit that trench line. And survive. So, got my rifle. I'm solo mission right now because the boys got lives. They have kids and family and friends. But we're on a solo mission. It's fine. Every once in a while, you got to go behind any lines solo. Do work. So here we are. What time is it? Okay, so we've smashed like a 50 minute little episode. I'd like to keep going. Not really sure what to talk about, but I feel like, you know, I'll just keep riffing at least for another 10-15 minutes, maybe another 3 hours. I don't know. But I'm in a pretty chill point in life where I'm not doing those 90-hour weeks. You know, I don't got some crazy female taking up my fucking energy and time. You know, everything's pretty chill right now where I can spend time. You know, it takes me 15 minutes to set up all the lights and, you know, get everything ready, mentally prepare. So 15-20 minutes. I'm pretty streamlined now. That's it. That's all it takes. And, you know, me sitting here an hour. So the way that the day works is, you know, I'll wake up, I'll work out, I'll eat, drink my coffee. Oh, I'll wake up, drink my coffee. I'll work out. I'll eat. I'll chill for a second, you know, clean the house, big kid shit. I'm trying to create a e-commerce website through Andrew Tate's The Real World. So I spend time on that adventure. So yeah, I got plenty of time. Like, technically I work tonight, but my gig's pretty chill. So we got time, and I got plenty to say. There should be never a point in life where there's dead fucking air. It's usually just me fucking ranting anyways in life. It makes it easier when I'm kind of faded. So let me, this is, what is this? I like how I pulled it out. Like pulling it out is going to say it on the, it doesn't say it on it. I'm pretty sure this is New York Diesel. It's been 10 years growing weed. That's why I moved to Colorado from Texas. They legalized it back in like 2012. I guess I've been here like the best 11 years now. But so I spent that time growing weed. I don't grow weed anymore. I still have all the equipment. I do not want to use it. The skill is there. The talent's there. I can do it at any point in time. I can do outdoor. I can do indoor. It's just so much time and effort is put into that. That's like for instance, this 1,000 milligram cartridge that I got 10 seconds up the road. There's a little dispensary like right next to my house. It's $20 for 1,000 milligram cart that lasts me like, and I smoke nonstop. Lasts me like a week. And unless you're gonna like live in the gray or the complete black and ship it elsewhere, it's like, it's not even, the profit margin isn't even worth it. This is what you're competing with. Industrialized big business. So at some point when I have my little compound and my little garden and my little life that I dream of, sure, you know, I'll grow weed again, but that skill's there, and it's kind of a waste of time at this moment in my life to continue doing it, because it does take so much effort every day. And you know, when you're trimming it and it just the whole fucking shebang, it's like that should be put into something, like I said, content creation, AI, e-commerce, learning a different skill, you know, utilizing a different path. And at any time I can just go back to that path, right? At any time I can just go back to growing weed. I can go back to the pirate's life. Anytime I could just do that, right? But I don't feel like that's where I'm supposed to be. So that's not what we're doing. All the time and energy that I would have spent, you know, chasing pussy or growing weed or playing video games, man. I am a gamer. I mean, this is a gaming laptop. I bought this laptop like 2 years ago. For like $1,500. It's like a Republic of Gaming. It's a really nice laptop. Super dope. I got it like so I could play video games when I wasn't at my house. You get to the point I don't even want to play video games anymore, right? So I have all this, like, I got a really high-end desktop. What? I don't want to play video games. So all the time that I would spend murking people in World of Warcraft or Fortnite or Arma 3, Rome, Total War, whatever. All the great game. I mean, there's some bangers coming out that I really want to play. That like the internal Ryan's like, dude, I want to play that fucking new Starfield game. What? Looks so dope. What? Baldur's Gate 3? Oh my god. But it's just like masturbating, right? Playing video games is like masturbation. Feels good, serves no purpose. Can't be there no more. We're in serious times in life. It's like, at first it was like, cool, I'm going to play video games for 8 hours today, but at the same time, I'm going to listen to a 10-hour Graham Hancock documentary, or what, you know, you would justify that, like, okay, I'm in a flux point right now. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out, see how it works. I'm gonna take in information. Yeah, I'm wasting time, but at the same time, I'm learning, and we're not there no more. All right, I have enough free time now where any knowledge or education, you know, like I said, the Gnostic teachings, the lost teachings, or, you know, some inspirational something. Spend a lot of my time listening to inspirational shit. You know, stay motivated. We've been so damaged with chemicals and vaccines and the full spectrum dominance, quiet weapons for silent wars. We've been so damaged that it takes every will of my fucking being to fight, like, every day. Like, to get up, stay motivated, stay focused. And I gotta have, like, David Goggins in the background telling me, hey, weak motherfucker, stay hard. Like, what are you doing? Have you worked out today? Did you do your fucking sets? So, video games, no go. Drugs, no go. Females, no go. Gotta fill that fucking void somehow, right? I could sit up my fucking scrolling on Facebag. And that's a waste of goddamn time. I mean, you keep up with things here or there, I guess. Because like I said, I don't watch news or Alex Jones or whatever. So basically how I do get my news, I guess, is scrolling through the fucking Facebag and what are people talking about? Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, that's dumb as fuck. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then you have these quick little reactions to it, but it's not like I've ever lately been scrolling and been like, oh shit, I didn't know that. That's crazy. It's like everyone knows what's happening. So I'm going to come on here and have, here's some clips of Candace Owens saying, da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not trying to dick ride and coattail ride on someone else's fucking nonsense. So yeah. I'll mention them, name drop them. Hey, Candace, hit me up. You a cutie pie. But that's about it. It will never be like, let me pull up some clips and see my reaction to this. Like, I had a lot of homies tell me that's what I should do. And it's like, I just don't. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea what this is going to be. I'd like it to be me and a homie just riffing. That would be the ideal situation. But, like I said, with everyone's lives and, and not everyone's on the same path in life, in the same moment in life. People have different things happening. So, I guess it's solo. No big deal. We got our jams going in the background. I hate my voice, right? I hate being on camera. But it's been entertaining. I think we've been doing this for 1 hour and 2 minutes. And I feel like it's gone well. I think we've had a fun time. I hope the brief history of time of why I'm here, how I got here, what I plan to do, kind of the stuff that's happening in my life, over time we'll become best friends. I'm really excited, super excited to have y'all here with me in my house. I got a fire going, got my chills going, got my dogs over here looking all cute. We have we got Loki, we got Nikita. They will be frequent guests on Ethereal Echo. They are the wolf pack of mine, and everyone loves dogs, right? I feel like I might get a subscriber or two off just my cute dogs. I'd like to read eventually. There used to be a segment that I really liked on, who was it? I want to say it's Bill Burr's podcast. The Thursday morning right after Monday, or I don't know. He's got some crazy fucking podcast name where he would just read like letters or emails from people, and they would tell him about relationship or whatever. I always found that very entertaining, because like getting a third party's perspective, a neutral, disconnected interpretation of, events happening in your life can be super fucking helpful. There's been a lot of times where, homies, have done that for me, and I've done it for homies, and I like to think it's super helpful, and I like to consider anybody who's sitting here and spending time with me and listening to me. I wish you were here with me. Wish we were riffing together. But one way we could riff together is, I could read a couple emails or whatever. And that would, bring us together. It's an interesting thought process. I just don't really know if I would ever want to, I would like to do like a mystery science theater, like 3000 thing, where you watch old movies with the homies and riff over top of it. I hate the new Mystery Science Theater 3000, the one that they, made a couple of years ago on Netflix. Horrible. They should all have blue hair. Horrible. But that would be interesting, right? I just want to, to circle back. If I died tomorrow, I want to have existed, right? And I'm not a good writer. I'm not someone who can sit there and consolidate my thoughts, and I didn't graduate fucking high school. I read some books. It's just, I'm vocal. I'm verbalizer. God sort of blessed me with decent genetics. I'm not too ugly on camera. So that should help. I am falling apart, though. I am falling apart. Yeah, I really don't want to just sit here and I did a couple test episodes with for Tomorrow's Echo, the other podcast that was going to happen with one of my homies. And I don't really want to. I know what I don't want from a podcast, and I felt like that's what that was turning into. He had one vision, I had a different vision. And I saw him pulling away from it, so I think this is, a better gig for sure. So I'm glad that everything worked out the way it did work out, and whatever happens, in the future with this podcast, vlog, not really sure what to call it. I'm excited, and who knows what will happen. And that's part of it. It's putting yourself out there. Joey Diaz, OG Joe Diaz, he had, he had a little passing comment. Nothing happens on the couch. Don't sit on your couch and let life pass you by. Every day I make it a point to go out into the world to do something. I don't buy my groceries, once a week. I live real close to the grocery store. What am I going to eat for dinner tonight? Boom. I'm going to go out there. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who you're going to run into, whose eye you're going to glance at, what business opportunity or love interest or seed might be planted by you just going out for that 10-minute run. I make it a point, I live in a small little town, so, and I'm not very, let's go out in the world and get drunk. What would a 34-year-old dude do nowadays? What am I gonna go bowling? My father for my birthday did give me a pool stick that his father gave him when he was 15 or 16. So it's, it's like that one thing. It's not nothing crazy. It's not like, oh, gave me a house or, gave me a Rolex. It's the thing in my family that one generation gave to another and gave to another. And it's a nice pool stick. And I treasure it, and it's right there. I would show you, but I really don't want to get up. So maybe I'll go, maybe that's an option. Learning how to, I'll be a pool shark. Go out there and just start hustling people. Maybe. But what my point with that is, go out in the world, stay busy, be productive. We got shit to do. Jordan Peterson has a really You know, we have things to do. Like, you have to discipline yourself. You need to work out every day, 1 hour a day at the very least. You need to eat healthy. You need to put these substances down. You need to stop chasing someone else's idea of happiness. You need to find your truth. These are all things that, you know, I spent my entire life trying to figure out. And it's kind of scary to, you know, be at this point in life where, you know, it's a convergence point. So who knows how many frames I've dropped? Who knows how, you know, much, nothing's been configured. Like, it's all configured on my other computer for streaming. I really didn't configure it for this, but it's going to be a gradual process. It should get better over time, but we'll see how it happens. I want to keep them around an hour, 2 hours. It's been fun. It has been fun. It's been a good episode, I think. Spoke my truth, a little bit about why I'm here, how I'm, where, what, all that good stuff. And I'll try to have a more concise, you know, battle plan. You know, we won't get to the Israel thing today. I mean, it's pretty fucking self-explanatory though, right? But I have a whole breakdown of my thought processes, and now that I kind of know what I want from this, you know, it should be okay. Next episode, I will have a battle plan, I think, of kind of what we're going to talk about, instead of just riffing it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll riff it again. But I think the best podcasts I've ever watched are people who just go out there, say what's up, spit some shit. So it's been fun. I hope you enjoyed the second episode of Ethereal Echo. At some point, you know, maybe we'll have Patreon or some merch. You know, one day, who knows? You know, get you a nice little coffee mug. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate you, you know, joining me tonight, and I hope you join me again. Whether or not it's tomorrow or the next day, it will either be 3 times a week or 5 times a week. I'm not sure yet. But I just go ahead and click the little button if this is being streamed on Twitch, and then I'm going to upload it on YouTube's. So wherever you find me, subscribe, say what's up. This has been my channel forever. If you type in Ethereal 420 in most like Steam, you'll find me. We'll play some games together, maybe that will be a thing. We can get together, play some games, stream that. It was fun. Good night.